Hello, this is my book haul for the second half of November. Not the greatest period, and I always find the end of the year coming up towards Christmas, it can be difficult to find nice books. So straight in, all the hardbacks I'm going to show you are first printings as such. First I'll start off with two free hardcovers. This is the third book in a series. I know nothing about the authors, but as it was free, I thought it was worth getting. Second one that was free is this one, in Colfer. It's a signed book, and it looks to be a bound-in sheet. He's normally seen as a children's author, but this is described as an adult fantasy. So again, free. I thought it was worth getting. That's it for free hardcovers. This was my dearest hardcover purchase, Vainglory, which is the second book in the Beloved Son trilogy by George Turner. Nice copy. I paid £3.50 for this. I'm not certain I would have bothered, but I have book 3 in hardcover as well, in nice condition. So the chance to get a second one in the trilogy in hardback I thought was worthwhile. I know I read this well over 20 years ago, but I'm afraid I remember nothing about it. So anyway, enough said about that. Next, probably just a reading copy. The dust jacket is a bit battered at top and bottom, so I already have a copy of this, but it was cheap, so I will use this as a reading copy. This one I was quite pleased to get. So I quite like Kim Stanley Robinson, and I have seen the odd good report about this book. It's in fairly nice condition, not perfect but pretty good. And finally, wasn't sure whether to get this because I'm not a particularly strong Doctor Who collector, but I thought I would get this one. Again, reasonable condition, not perfect. And as I say, all those hardcovers were first printings. Now I'll start on the paperbacks. I'll start with the free ones. This one, it's a second printing. It's damaged a bit, it's been stuck down at some point on the spine, so I thought I'd get it as a reading copy. Another free one, not sci-fi, but it came within my allocation of 3 free books, so I thought I'd get this. It's fairly nice condition. The main issue is there is evidence of label removal in this top corner. So a reasonable book. It'll probably go in my books to be sold on or whatever. Next, another free one. It's the first book I've got by this author. I know nothing about him or the book. So evidence of some page turning maybe. So not perfect, but it was free. Slight spine creases, so reasonable. And the final free book is this one. Again, an author I know nothing about. It's a Questar, and I do tend to pick those up when I see them, but I know nothing about the author, so I can't really comment about that. Now to move on to the ones I paid for. This one, this is an omnibus of 2 stories. I have the first omnibus. This is the third one. I thought it was nice to try and collect the set. It's got light spine creases and slight signs of spotting, but basically a nice copy. This one was picked up from a new bookshop in a sale, cost me £1. I've been gradually building up a set of the change. I'm still missing several, but I thought for £1 that was very reasonable. Another one I picked up from the same shop, one of the Elemental Masters books, again a new book reduced to £1, so I thought it was worth getting. This one, I have one or two by Lavi Tidhar. I have to say I've never read any of his. The Circumference of the World. I mean, he sometimes does more books that are more mainstream fiction rather than science fiction, but this one, it says but fundamentally it is a love letter to the golden age of science fiction. I won't read the rest of that. Beautiful condition, so I thought I should get it. Next, I'll show you this one, Weird Woods. It's a British Library book. The British Library have produced a series called Tales of the Weird. The last time I checked, I think there were 27 in the series, and they for all I know, they've issued some more since. This, I think, was the first one, and it's going to be the 7th one I've found. Whether they're worth collecting, I don't know, but they're certainly not common. The British Library are much more famous for the crime ones that look similar, but Tales of the Weird are not that common, and I don't often see. Next, I got another one in the Liarden Universe series by Sharon Lee and Steve Miller. Lovely condition. I pick them up when I see them. I still got gaps, so pleased to get that. Next, a Gareth L. Powell book, one of his earlier ones, I believe. Nice condition. I've got a few of his. I hadn't got this one, so I bought that. And finally, 3 books which I'm not going to spend much time on. Terry Brooks, all first printings, all in lovely condition, virtually as new. I've got most of the Shannara books in paperback. I must admit, I read the first 2 or 3 many years ago, and I wasn't hugely impressed with the Shannara books. I far preferred Terry Brooks's Landover series, which I think there are 6, but seeing these in such lovely condition, I thought I should get. And that covers all my books from charity shops. On Sunday the 27th, no sorry, Sunday the 24th, I went to the Pulp and Paperback fair in London, and I'll show you the 4 books that I bought there. First one is a Robert E. Howard book. Now, I have both of these books, The Iron Man and The Adventures of Dennis Dorgan, as single paperbacks, but this in a way effectively is a double, and I haven't seen this one before. so I thought it was worth buying. From the same stall, the other book that I bought from that stall was this. One of the early Berkeleys with the poster. It's the first printing and generally in very nice condition. I think there was a very, very light spine crease and a very light, very, very light reading crease. I don't know whether you can see it, but it is really quite minimal. So I was pleased to get that. That was one I was missing. And then from another stall, I bought two books, two early Dells. When I see a really nice Dell copy, I do pick it up. This one, Outpost Mars by Cyril Judd. A very nice copy. Usual bit of page tanning, but no obvious damage other than a little bit of rubbing on the edges of the spine. And the other one that I bought from that dealer, Rogue Queen by L. Sprague de Camp. Sorry if the bag is making it difficult to see. Not quite as good as the first one. I'm trying to remember why. Oh yes, there was a tiny corner crease, about ½ inch in one corner, but it is very light, and I thought that was well worth buying. So a fairly quick run through of my late November purchases. That's all for now. Paul Cooper signing off.